More than 2,000 dead after powerful earthquakes in Morocco. Go and check out some of the aftermath of this 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Morocco. This is from NBC News. Then we're going to hit some precepts. All praises to Yehovah Hashem, Yehoshua Hashem, Harakakwadash. Giving double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. The house of David is rising. And salutes to the 144,000 and the rest of all the elect men. Without further ado.
Evening, it happened late at night when most people were asleep. There was no warning. And it was absolutely horrific in its power. This is the moment a 6.8 magnitude earthquake rocked Morocco. You can see people fleeing into an alley only for debris to then start tumbling down. The quake was centered here, just south of the popular tourist destination of Marrakesh. The death toll already stands at over 2,000 people. And as we get new images in of the destruction, it's clear that number is only going to rise. Now, it is a race against time to save those trapped in the buildings and try to get to the hardest hit areas that are cut off from the rest of the country. Many, including American tourists, now sleeping outside, fearing more aftershocks. The State Department late today confirming some Americans were injured. We have two reports tonight, beginning with Matt Bradley.
Security footage showing the rumbling, the shaking, and then the screaming as a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Morocco. Moroccans are now struggling to reach survivors thought to be buried beneath rubble. It's the most powerful tremor to hit Morocco in more than 100 years. Suddenly we saw things falling from above, like dishes and other things that were fixed to the wall. We were unable to sit or stand. Then we fled outside, said this resident. Really, the earthquake was very strong. Moroccan military reporting more than 2,000 people killed, another 2,000 injured. The numbers have been climbing all day, and they will probably continue to grow as first responders pull more bodies from ruined homes. We ran outside, but a wall fell on my head, said this man. Sky News' Adam Parsons is on the ground in Morocco.
There is still real fear about what could happen. Here's a very good example of that nervousness. This restaurant behind me was badly damaged by the earthquake on Friday night, but it only actually collapsed hours and hours later.
The quake struck in the high Atlas Mountains shortly before midnight. This security camera video of the first tremors shows people fleeing cafes in panic and barely escaping falling debris. We went to sleep, but after a few seconds we felt the earthquake and we went out of the house, this man said. After that, the entire house was destroyed. The epicenter was about 50 miles from the historic city of Marrakesh. Its beloved Medina, or old city of labyrinthine alleyways, now partly damaged.
So parts of the Medina are fine. Other parts, as you can see behind me, are not so fine. The older buildings that are less structurally sound have suffered the most.
And Jose, we might not even know the full extent of the damage yet. Rescue workers are struggling to reach some of those remote villages in the Atlas Mountains near the epicenter. That's where they're expecting to find some of the worst destruction. Jose?
But knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. Who the people them outsides don't want to go back to their hotels, foreigners included. So they're saying 2,000 deleted. 2,000 deleted. So far they're saying 2,000 deleted and 2,000 injured. So this is major earthquake, 6.8. We're gonna hit some precepts. It's gonna be a 1-2 punch. And yes, man, this is just more prophecies, man, as what Yahushua spoke about, that he's evident of his being his presence in the Gospels, the Matthews, the Marks, and the Lukes. He spoke about these things. So this is all prophecy, man. Stepping stones closer to the end of this deletion of this whole kingdom. Let's hit some precepts. We're going to end it off, man, before we hit the road. 2 Corinthians 5:11 says, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord. Yeah, that's what they're experiencing now. That's why they don't want to go back to their houses, their hotels, or their places of residence. Because even a restaurant was hit. It was damaged severely, and say a couple of hours later, that's when it collapsed. So they know that they're on shaky ground, man. pun intended, they're literally on shaky ground. So they're feeling this right now. So we got to warn you people, man. Get right. Yeah? For those of us that are seeking the Lord, this is what we're doing. 2 Corinthians 5:11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. And if there's any elect among them or just watching that, observing that, this is the presence of the Lord telling you, man. But we are made manifest unto Yahweh, and I trust also are made manifest in your conscience. The Lord is definitely speeding up this time, speeding up the time for the end, man, to come, for the kingdom to come. But for those of his elect that have been redeemed from his destruction, bought with a price, his blood, his ransom, bought with a price, we've been redeemed from the impending danger that is about to come. And we got these little skirmishes, little build-ups to bigger and more terrifying things that are going to take place in the earth. Ultimately, the missiles. So Hebrews chapters 10 and 31 says, it is a fearful thing to fall unto the hands of the living God. It's just that easy, man. For the Most High, he could just delete 2,000 just like that. At the snap of a Thanos snap of his finger. Just like that. Delete 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people, over 2,000 people, and 2,000 injured so far. Probably that's going to rise over the impending days. That's going to increase. More people, more bodies are going to be found under the rubble. It's just that easy for the Most High, man. That's why we're supposed to fear him, man. It is a fearful thing to fall unto the hands of the living God. And don't forget the one that happened over there in Turkey. Was it late last year? Was it 50,000? 50,000 deleted. Probably more than that. Just like that. With the houses that collapsed, with the aftershocks, with the homelessness, the deletions, the families that come after these these dangerous things that take place, the homelessness, the starving. Most High's boy, the fearful thing to fall unto the hands of the living God. And we're gonna hit this one, man, as well. This is definitely get right with the Lord. Fear him. And a lot of you people who worship, a lot of them are Muslims over there in Morocco, just like over in Turkey. A lot of them don't fear the Lord. So the Most High have to send Al-Shajja, that demon-like power upon them. You know, that's what it's about, man. Job chapters 18. Now they're gonna fear him. They're gonna fear him, right? When he totally reveals himself, when Yehoshua come back, man, he's gonna come back with healing in his wings for the elect, and more earthquakes are gonna take place. They're gonna escalate, man. Yeah, if you go and even check the chart, how many took place this year, last year, it's always increases. It's always increasing. It's always escalating. We look at the chart of earthquakes, the magnitude, and how many take place this year, last year, the year before that. What's this one? The worst since 100 years in Morocco. The worst earthquake that's hit Morocco since 100 years. And yeah, this is from the NBC News. Do your research, man. This is why we know that this is we're in the end times. So Job chapters 18. Let's hit 14. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the King of terrors. The Most High is terrible, much to be feared, man. Fear the Lord, fear our God, Yahweh Shai, and he's a black man. Right? And that's the one that even make it even more fearful to you heathens and you goyim and you ease. That makes it even more fearful, because you know what you did to his children, the so-called black people, what you've been doing to them. So yeah, when you look into Revelations chapters 1, and it describes him, he's a black man, and his eyes are red, and he's full of anger, and he's going to come back and bring vengeance upon the wicked. These are just little appetizers, man, little build-ups to bigger and better things. And then when it comes, when there's when in the final war, the world war, the end of all wars, the wars to end all wars, he's going to return And that's when it's really good. That's when it's really gonna start. So you wanna talk about fear in the Lord. His snare is laid for him in the ground, a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side. That's why these people don't want to go back in them yard. Terrified, right? When you look up the word terror, man, you know what I mean? It's not even And you're talking about the fear of the Lord or the most highest terror. It's off the chart. Cannot be compared to any other terrors, any other fears. The fear of the Lord, when the Most High brings His fear, is off the chart. You can't compare it with any other type of fear. People have phobias of all types of things, and they become frozen. If it might be a phobia of spiders or creepy crawlies, you know, they can be cured of that, but you can't be cured. You know, people, and they attempt to be cured of those phobias by being around and making themselves familiar with it. If it's spiders, critters, fear of water, by familiarizing themselves with them slowly but surely and becoming less fearful. But this is a fear of the Lord that you cannot be cured from unless you serve Him. And that kind of fear is a motivator, is a true motivator. And it's the best fear that you may ever have, man. I'm talking to the elect. That's the best fear that you could ever have. The fear of the Lord. Because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You want to have that fear, that wholesome fear, right? That keeps you on the right track. But Allah Shadja is returning, man. His presence is made known to the heathens right now and all the wicked and the wicked of our own people. His snare is laid for him in the ground. This is all the wicked. A trap for him in the way. Terrors, Job 18:11. Terror shall make him afraid on every side and drive him to his knees. Drive him out of his yard. And they're going to be driven out of there. Ultimately, they're going to be driven in the ground, out of their minds, man. Ultimately, when the Yahushua does return and they see him in his presence, when he ain't going to meet them as a man, in the midst of all the wars and deletings that's going to be taking place, he's going to put the icing on the cake. His strength shall be hang-bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side when he returns, man. Alright? It shall devour the strength of his kin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. And they deleted the ultimate Pharaoh's firstborn. And that was the icing on the cake, man. That was the last straw for Pharaoh. But that was all prophecy, that was all warning of the power of the Lord. When he used Moses with those 10 plagues, man, and deleted Pharaoh's firstborn, along with all the other signs that Pharaoh was given, you know, to let my people go, let them out of Egypt, let them go. And that was the last plague, the blow to his firstborn son. And then ultimately his whole host of his armies and him deleted, and the whole of the Egyptians were deleted. And that was the end for them. That was a total destruction for them. But they felt that fear, the fear that is off the chart, cannot be cured from it. Right. And Yahushua going to return, man. You know, he's the ultimate terminator or the executor. You know, the what's the other one? The terminator, the executor, the deleter, what's the other one? The predator. Yeah, as in the movie Terminator. Can't be bargained with, can't be reasoned with, doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and he absolutely will not stop. He will not stop ever until he brings forth his purpose, till he deletes all the wicked, man. And we're going to have them in captivity, and they're going to be in shackles. And that's the ultimate will of the Lord, to rise up Jakes, the so-called black people, to rise us up, to turn the tables and to put the wicked back in their position where they was, in shackles and serving us, you know, pursuing to Genesis chapters 25. Yeah, Jacob is the beginning of all things, man, you know, which is Yahweh Yahushua. But yeah, Esau gonna serve Jacob ultimately. So this is the point in 14 of Job 18. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the King of terrors. Kala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Gonna bring him to his knees, to the King of terrors, man. But this is the hope that we have, and we always give praise and thanks for the Most High to give us these signs that He is present now. You know, we're going to end off with this in Luke 21. Like I say, it's a quick one. And 11 says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. This is when Yahushua was talking to his disciples, the people, the listeners, yeah, the great crowd. He said, this is when you know I'm present, I've returned. Yeah, great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, right? And they're seeing all these things, right? This is what we're talking about right now. The earthquake that hasn't hit Morocco since over 100 years, 6.8 magnitude, man. These are the great signs. Fearful sights and great signs shall therefore be from heaven. Signs shall thee be from heaven. Right, man. Cannot dispute this. Cannot dispute the prophecies of the Lord. Prophecies coming to pass. Jump down to 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear, for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Right, they're fearful even now, right? And this is just the beginning. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, Al-Shadja. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. Right, man. You're going to come back for these elect, for the people that you had in captivity, where you shouldn't have did it, man. You furthered the affliction, but there has to be a price. We don't want no reparations. The price is better, what we're getting, right? Our prize, what we're getting, is having you, right, as our possession. That's the best prize we could ever ask for. No, we don't want no flipping FRNs, greens, or whatever you call them, dollars, pounds, right? This is what we're going to get. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth near. Redemption, because we've been redeemed from the impending destruction that is about to come upon the face of this earth. Right, so these are little signs, little things building up to bigger and better things. I just wanted to bring that out and hit those precepts as more reminders taking place in the sight of the wicked. And as it says there, the elect, this is what you have, man. When you see these things begin to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption is drawing near. Redemption from the impending danger that is about to come upon the face of this earth. Keep praying, keep blessing the Akim and putting up curses upon this wicked place, to all the praises and the power of the Most High. Yeah. Wa abababal. Wa abababal. Woe upon Babylon. Destruction upon Babylon. Right? And all the wicked that have done wickedness to his elect. Right? So, shalom to all the sincere Akim, on to the next. Wa abababal.